bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. Solar. Power up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Sports Talk49 live on BucksReport.com. Every Monday and Friday at 3 p.m. Every Monday doing post-game, every Friday doing pre-game. Of course, this show is brought to you by none other than 320 Solar and is powered by 320 Solar. Put the power back into your pocket. Also, make sure to check out Fast Track Cannabis Clinics of America, the nation's largest medical marijuana doctor network with over 2,500 state licensed doctors in all 32 states. Medical marijuana is legal. My Cannabis Card effectively links new patients with the closest state licensed medical marijuana doctor near them while just saving 30% on evaluation costs. Just mentioned Bucks Report. And last but definitely not least, always there for the live shows and fan reaction at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol. Bucks' only sports bar and grill, Isla del Sol, at the Deck Bar and Grill. Make sure to always check out all the other great shows here on Bucks Report as well. We got Peter Blake coming later tonight. But right now, we're going to talk about what happened to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. What happened? You guys can call in, call in the show or put your questions and comments in the section, and I'll gladly talk about what happened. There's a lot of issues, from bad game planning, not getting certain receivers involved. Mike Evans, is he being phased out of the offense? Who knows? Bucks lose 38-3. There's a lot of questions. Defense getting exposed, teams figuring out what the Bucks can and can't do on defense, on offense, and Sean Payton, is he just a better coach than Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich? I know Bruce Arians allows Byron Leftwich to do what he likes to do on offense, and he kind of stay out the way and doesn't get involved unless he's got to. But there's a lot of questions and concerns coming in when you're playing one of those teams, a team that's probably going to make the playoffs as well. And you might face them a third time. It's a possibility. But with all the bad things that we're going to talk about today, this season's definitely not over. 6-3. Plenty of season left. Bucks are on track right now. They lose one game every quarter of the season. If you do that all season, you'll end up 12-4. So right now, people aren't used to losing after being on a win streak. You know, three-game win streak consistently now. You win 3 and you lose 1. That's technically what's going on right now. And you lost the game, and they lost. So, I think it's just the fashion of their loss, I think, is what fans are really upset. I think the fans, a lot of people expected to lose the game twice to the Saints, in my opinion. But that fashion just utterly getting outclassed. It was like they were the Jets, the New York Jets, and you were playing the 17-0 Patriots. That's what it looked like. It just looked like it was just two different classes of teams playing on that field, and the energy from the players and things like that. And then you talk to Bruce Arians, when he talked about today, he said you got to figure out ways to play night games. I don't, as a player myself, I didn't mind night games. Didn't bother me at all. It means I got to sleep longer. You get longer to preparation. You get to talk to your family, your friends, your loved ones, and things like that before you got to go play a game. So playing at night should really make a difference, especially you're not going across the country or overseas or anything like that. So I don't, Bruce Arians has some answers for things. I know if that's me on that team, I'm not making an excuse for that performance on the fact that it was a night game. Let me make sure to check out you guys' show. Check you guys out in the comment section, you 49ers. Mike, here we go. This should be good. No, Mike, I'm not that guy that's going to be screaming and hollering and things like that. Sometimes I get fired up, and that's about it. I ain't going to be doing all that. Eric, can we join the broadcast, Blake, or not? Not today. I already have a co-host on, Eric, but just put your comments and stuff in the box, and I'll make sure to get to it. Peter was pretty hot last night. Mike, he gets upset because he's passionate about what he does, first and foremost, and then he's passionate about the progression of this team. Notice I didn't just say win, I said progression of the team. And Peter's been always about, one thing I know about Peter, we bump heads on it a few times, is that the fans, he's always supported fans being there and having the experience, because without the fans, none of this happens, which he's right. So he gets upset about that, but in his retrospective, don't say things call him things that's not true based on no stats and facts at all. Just simply you taking 5 minutes to just say something outlandish based off you watching 2 minutes of a show and you think you got everything figured out. That's what he gets pissed off about. The other part is that when they win, the Bucks win, nobody wants to call this show and voice all that opinions and all that stuff. But when they lose, everyone calls. We got a caller coming in. 1 second. Call you live. Give me 1 second to transfer over this audio, and we'll get right to you. Give me 1 second. One second, caller, so everybody can hear you. Anyway, but yes, that's the reason. That's the reason why I don't know what it's doing right now. It's supposed to be transfer this audio. The caller's still there. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but give me a second. But that's why he gets upset, is because of that. Because the reaction to wins is not the same reaction as when it is to a loss. Everybody tends to want to gravitate towards negativity versus gravitating towards positivity. Caller, you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, Blake. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Who's this?
Eric. I think I came on with I think his name.
It's Deshaun. It was Deshaun on Friday.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric? What you got for us?
that way. 7-5. I mean, that, people say 10-6. I don't know if that's good enough for a wild card spot. And, you know, for the extra playoff team. I don't know, is that good enough?
Are you talking about with the loss?
Yeah.
Well, the loss is going to hurt definitely in a tiebreaker, but that's why we say let's put things in perspective. You're 6-3. The world is not over. I think everybody's more upset at the fashion that they lost, and which is definitely respectable, losing 38-3. I think everybody's upset about that. I don't think people would be that mad if they lost 17-14 or 20, even 28-14, 38-3. And the Saints, loss is a loss. You're right, and the Saints definitely they got to finish out their season too. We don't know how to finish off for them. It won't finish off. It'll finish for them, and then definitely finish for the Buccaneers. They got to finish out their season, so we don't know if the Saints. We want to come down to a tiebreaker. Luckily, because the Saints will definitely win that, skunking the Bucs this season in the division. But the world is not over. Everybody's upset, but the world is not over, Eric.
I don't see them losing more than 2 games. They've got the Chiefs and then the Panthers, so I mean that's hard to go forward.
They definitely got some soul searching to do. That's for sure. So hopefully they'll be able to go into the drawing board and come back stronger next time and figure out ways, because I'll break down tape as I always do on Friday. And if I can see, if other teams can see what their weaknesses are, they're going to reciprocate what the Saints did to the Buccaneers, and teams are going to do that same thing. Don't think the Panthers are going to come out with the same strategy that the Saints just came out with Sunday night.
Yeah, we need more back. Hopefully, I know he's still in the protocol, but hopefully by at least Thursday. I know Godwin get back that Friday.
Right.
A little bit, so he passed it on Tuesday. Okay, so he was close. So hopefully Marquette cleared by Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep. Yeah, because Arians also said today, Eric, that Marquette is currently still in protocol. So I hope, like you said, hopefully he'll be good by then. And Godwin will also have another full week to recover. And hopefully guys will get healthy and Antonio Brown to get more acclimated with the playbook and things like that. So it's a lot of positivity moving forward, playing the Saints on the road, heading to Carolina. But appreciate you calling, Eric. Feel free to call back in when we jump on another subject.
All right. Later.
Yep. Eric Morano, always putting in good insight. Peter was hot last night. Yeah, I was talking about that. Misador, what's up? Antonio Martinez, Drew didn't get no pressure whatsoever. Absolutely. And I don't know why they decided to change up what they've done to throw pressures. If you're gonna live by the blitz, then die by the blitz. That's fine. We can understand that you're actually trying to get to the quarterback. Bruce said they tried the A-gap blitz with Devin White and them five or six times in the game. It just wasn't getting there. The Saints were prepared. That's the difference here. I think it's just there's a different level of coaching and preparation for this Saints team versus this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, even with the addition of Tom Brady. Granted, protection levels are way different on the Saints side of offensive line and the Buccaneers offensive side of the ball. That hasn't changed since Jameis Winston. At this point, I can't even say that Brady doesn't throw interceptions in that game either, because Brady's thrown 5 interceptions to the Saints this season. I don't remember what Winston's were all the years, but that's really not the point. The point is that the problem is the protection has been the same, inconsistent, in all the times you played against the Saints, and they've done nothing about that. They've done nothing to counteract that. Usually, you want to run the ball, and you only have 5 attempts, one coming from a kneel down by Blaine Gabbert. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what your game plan was. I have no idea what they really thought coming into that game why that would be a good idea to not blitz and only rush before, which you can't do that. You're missing one of your core pieces in Vita Vea up front. I just don't get it. Mr. Young, I think White should go out on passing downs. He can't cover. He definitely got exposed in the game. And I show a lot on my perspectives. These guys stare at the quarterback. I said last week, if these guys continue to stare at the quarterback on Daniel Jones and he's missing the receivers, trust and believe Drew Brees won't do that. And I said they're going to game plan for that. And damn sure they did do that at the, because sound like Porky Pig, bitty. They did do that early in the game and got Jamil Dean again looking in the backfield. And then on the play, you know what? Let me just shut the hell up and show you from my damn self. Let me pull up this screen share. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna pull up the second second one. This one's a much better view so you can see their eyes. Let me pull this up for y'all. Because I like y'all so much, I'm gonna do this for you. Application window. Let me pull this up here. All right, let's take a look at this. Now look at their eyes. Let me get this right for y'all. Now look at the eyes. Now you see the pump fake? Let me try to slow this down for you. Right here. Look, 3 guys are staring at Alvin Kamara. You just totally forgot about your 2 receivers, number 7 and number 10, Hill and Williams, I believe. If I'm not Jackson, I can't remember right now, but that's not the point. They're staring so hard in the backfield, you forgot about the guys you got to cover. I told y'all this against the Giants. If you continue to do this, good quarterbacks are going to take advantage of you, and they're going to make a game plan for that. Look, 3 guys are staring at Alvin Kamara and staring at the quarterback. You ain't even paying the wideouts no mind, and they're the ones catching the ball. Oh, let's forget about that guy. Let's forget about him. He's looking at Alvin Kamara, and we're all staring at the quarterback. And unlike Daniel Jones, he's going to find the wide open guy. That history repeats itself, man. These guys watch tape just like I do, and they're going to expose you on things that they think you're weak at. It's going to happen, man. And if you don't fix that, Teddy Bridgewater is going to bomb you too. They're going to do the same thing next week against the Panthers. Mark my words. You keep picking in that backfield, the same thing going to happen next week too. See, there you go. What was it, Mike? You wanted me to get fired up, but I ain't gonna scream and curse and all that. But I get fired up about stuff. Drew had all day. Yep. Zone defense, bad game plan, long developing routes. That's always the story against the Saints for some reason, Brandon. You want to run long, elongated routes in a protection scheme that can't protect for you to run 7-step drops. You can't run 700 series passes in that against that defensive line and your offensive line. I said you have to get creative. The one time you got creative on offense is when you run the motion route to Antonio Brown for a 5-yard gain when you needed 2 yards. When you create a natural pick. I don't know if you guys watched my winning angle. It was the exact thing I explained in the Raiders game that works against the Saints. But you didn't implicate that as your game plan in the offense. You ran it when you needed 2 yards, but you didn't implicate that all game. You could have created more space for Mike Evans. You could have created more space for Chris Godwin. You could have created more space for Rob Gronkowski if you create natural picks. I told you every third down they're going to play man coverage. I sound like the damn coach, and I'm not Todd Bowles. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I'm pretty damn good at knowing what goes on in football. I'm pretty damn good at instincts and things like that from watching tape. I'm not even in the game, and I can see things happening. These guys are there. These guys watch tape. These guys are the ones making the game plan. I don't know if these guys are actually focused in the game and you're just playing just to play and not think, but it clearly shows that you were just out-coached and outclassed, and it was all your fault. It was just bad. You can't beat a team with quick release offense playing 6 to 12 yards off the receiver. They didn't even need to run a quick offense. He held the damn ball, Misador, as long as he wanted to. But as I said in pregame and halftime, you got to put your hands on receivers. You gotta allow the rush to get there. If they don't get there, then I don't blame the corners for having good coverage and then the line letting them down by not getting there. I'm not going to eat the secondary's lunch for that because that's not their fault. If you're covering for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, that's not on you, especially in man coverage against a Hall of Famer and Drew Brees. But you damn near got to get on these guys and make this dude hold the ball so you can allow the rush to get there if they're going to get there. Then if they don't, that's another conversation. So I agree, Misador. Mike, a lot of them wish they had a lot of teams wish they had a 6-4 record. I'm not concerned. Yeah, like I said, it's about the loss and the manner of the loss. I get it, Mike. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's a matter of the loss. Getting your ass kicked 38-3 is an utter embarrassment. And then Jameis Winston coming out doing the dance in the locker room, eating W's and doing all this stuff. It's embarrassing. I felt embarrassed, and I'm not on that team. I'm not on that payroll. But it's embarrassing. We looked like a dysfunctional school against a Power 5. Yes, they did. Oh, I got a call coming in. 1 second, guys. Call, you're live. Go ahead. Deshaun, what's going on, my brother? How are you? You said a Jack and Coke?
Yeah.
A double shot? You talking about offense or defense? Hey, Deshaun, I don't mean to cut you off. I can't. For some reason, I'm having trouble putting the audio so everybody can hear you. I'm going to put the link in the box, and you can just do audio from there. Is that okay? Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna drop that in the section so you can grab the link right now. So I can just add you on audio. You can come on video too if you want, but if audio is just fine as well. Link should be there. Yep. Wait for Deshaun to call, and I'll just ring Moreno, not Morano. My bad, Eric. Marino. Okay, I try to get people's names correctly. We look like a dysfunctional school against the Power 5. I've never seen you that far. Man, I've gotten fired up like that before. I'm like, stop it. Brandon Virgil Sr., we played not to lose instead of playing not to win. I'll never get mad at playing to win, but I'll never stand for playing not to lose. Misador, I hated night games as a player only because I would be too high early on from anxiety and would settle down as the game progressed. Hey, anxiety from the game, man. I think I loved football so much because you could legally hit people and get away with it. I think so. That was a kind of relief for me for a young kid growing up and having anger issues and things like that. So I enjoyed football that aspect. So it was kind of a relief for me. Why are we playing back in the VH3 cushion defense? Mike Smith defense? No idea. I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure that out. My guess is Bowles is stressed that they're better not to get beat. You're going to get beat deep by a guy with a right shoulder problem and has already issues with accuracy deep. You saw how slow the ball was to Taquan Williams when he was wide open. I believe someone made a comment about Winston last night, and then he went off. Yeah, that's what it was because I don't know if you want to. I don't. Want to call it. Is it a black and white thing or did Winston get dirty? Yeah, I was a great Winston supporter too about continuity with this team and swapping quarterbacks out year in and out. That's the reason why. Here's Deshaun. We will get him on right now. Deshaun, there you go.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on? Now go on from the beginning so everybody can hear
you.
Man.
Hey, I was, I said this before. I really felt like the issue this game was going to be just starting within the start and end up front. And offensively and defensively, I said it on Sports Talk 49, the last show. I said, hey, if this is going to be upstairs, this is going to be at the front line. And sure enough, when I saw that defensive line, I'm telling you, I was upset by the defensive line play. I was upset about personnel groupings that I saw, to the point of there were too many times. We're playing against Drew Brees. We need to get to him fast. Sure, we need to secure the Alvin Kamara because it doesn't pop runs up the middle. They didn't start gashing us later with the direct runs up the middle until later in the game. So at the early part of the game, when we're still in the game, when I look out there and I see Will Golston, I saw Nacho out there, and I saw Ndamukong Suh. And to me, Nacho, when Vita first went down, Nacho's play was better. Right now, his play seems to have fallen off. Okay, you got McClendon in there. I understand later on he had some, he had some offsides. That was in the fourth quarter or later in the game anyway. But I definitely felt like we needed a rotation in there. Those guys are tired. I'm not seeing the fire. When you're a plus 285 guy, and you've been down there warming up, and you get a couple plays, and you hog against hog, so to speak, those guys are tired. Don't you watch the same game I watch? How many times have you noticed Ndamukong Suh not in there? And you're like, well, why isn't Ndamukong Suh not in there? Because he's tired. When you see him pick up fumbles and run, he looks like I am at that line of I don't want to see his doctor's report. I'd rather see his paycheck than his doctor's report, because he's a big guy. And when you see these guys, when their football careers end, you see them lose that weight, they must. It's a must. They're not capable to run every down. Shaq Barrett can do it. Even JPP can do it to an extent. And my wife kind of got on me last night. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm a little bit embarrassed about it, but it was just one of those things. When JPP batted that ball down in the game, my wife was in the kitchen. We got an open concept in my house. I'm in the living room watching the game, and she's like, I'm like, he would have caught that interception had he had all his fingers.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I promise you. I said, she was like, Dave, that's wrong. And I was like, I'm sorry. It was wrong. It just came out. So I just figured, Bucs fans, I would just give that to you because I know it was wrong. And I like the guy from a player perspective. I had no issues with him. It was just one of those things that it was a game where we needed everything that we could get. And I was like, man, we needed that. And as I looked at the defensive line, I'm sure, we all see the woes of the offensive line. But tell me, Blake, am I seeing stuff, or did you also see that we weren't getting pressure? We know we have to get to him quick. We did not get that. And I'm going to ask you that. I want that response, and I got one more thing for you. But did you see the D-line rotation and not wonder to yourself, well, what's Anderson? Where was he at? Like, why was he not in? Like, he's actually a defensive end. He's just big. Shouldn't you put him down? He's what Golston was initially, but Golston's more morphing towards being a D tackle than a D end. So our rushes with him, I'm like, no way. He's
never been known for getting sacks from Michigan State to NFL. Matter of fact, when Will Golston got the extension and he went 1 year with 0 sacks, he honestly openly admitted that he thought he was going to get cut because his performance was so terrible. Yes. Everybody don't remember that. I do.
He said it. And listen, I remember him from Michigan State, and I don't know if you remember watching his drafting, because we did do his draft and all that. Watching him pre-draft, dude, what's the other dude? We got him, and he's back at Clemson on the sidelines right now.
Oh, you're talking about Gaines? I'm not Gaines.
No, Daquan Bowers.
Daquan Bowers. He's at USF now coaching.
Yeah. So he moved from Clemson to USF now. So now when I look at him and I'm saying, hey, when I looked at his size and they're both in their draft profiles, he was, Will Golston was definitely smaller. He put on weight, and he's consistently put on weight here. And I'm guessing that's based on what he's been asked to do, and that's okay. But pass rusher, he is not.
Nope.
He's a great run stopper. He can even set the edge well, but there wasn't enough there. But defensively, that D-line rotation, we looked really porous. Did you see the same thing?
It was awful, and it's because you have no versatility is the word I think on that defensive line. If you can't get to a Drew Brees, what are you going to do against a Patrick Mahomes that's going to run around in the pocket? Will Ghost not going to chase anybody down in a foot race. The Ndamukong Suh checks out when the game's not good on his way. He was zero effect. I didn't even know he was on the field. JPP is going to do his best to get there, but he's not fleet of foot like that. The only one, I guess, with some real wheels on there is in Shaq Barrett, and that's about it. And all the teams know that already, but there's definitely going to be a lot of soul searching. I did see in Arian's interview, he said he's going to be trying some new things implementing this week, so I'm interested to see what that is.
Well, listen, I posted it last night on Peter's show, and I'm telling you, last night I was hot about the game, and I think I was more hot because I had a full glass of that Kool-Aid, and I know what it was, but I was a little bit, to that. It was that point where you're disappointed in your team, where you believe that. Listen, I believe you guys go out here to give 100%. Correct. And when I saw Levante David lined up out there, he was getting abused the week before. NFL is a copycat league. You got him. You got one of our linebackers, one of our interior linebackers, stretched out there in coverage by themselves, and look at the route. Of course, I'm going to run him on a slant. He's not a DB to be in man coverage pressed up on a receiver. That linebackers don't benefit from that. And listen, Devin White has shown right now the propensity to give up wheel routes and over coverage routes on him. SAT word for Leo Haggerty. If
look at you even doing a Leo. But hey, right, they picking on him. They're picking on him.
Look. Week after week. And listen, that's not going to get any better. You said it last week. If it was happening against Jones, where he just can't do it, it will happen against any other good quarterback.
I'm so glad somebody's listening. I'm so glad somebody's listening. I said, what's my famous line, Deshaun? I said, if I can see this,
if you can
I know they can see
I know they can see
I know they can see that.
We're all watching the film, and I couldn't, for the life of me, I'm like, listen, we're watching the film. How do you guys not see this? And listen, once again, Jamel Dean playing spy technique, looking in the backfield, he gets caught. Listen, they know that we're watching film. Everyone in the NFL needs to self-scout. When I'm coaching, whether it's high school or anything younger, youth kids, I look at our film and self-scout, and then I say, how would I attack us? And you know what? We're all thinking, oh, I know you know that we have Alvin Kamara. Guess what? They know that you know we have Alvin Kamara. Mm-hmm. And then what's going to happen from there? It's going to be that, hey, you know what? We're gonna put him out here so we can watch all three of you key on him. And the eye in the sky never lies. All we need to see is that one time. The film has you. They have you snapshot on the Surface Pro. The coaches upstairs see that everybody's frozen, and they're coming back to that. And for the life of me, in this game, I could not understand. In key moments, Brady went to his snuggle blanket as if he was Linus from Charlie Brown. He would go. I was like, listen, you're going to Gronk when other people are open. And that's the part. And I've been saying it. I watched the numbers. Listen, Mike Evans has not been targeted, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a Mike Evans fan. I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. And I'm not worried if Mike doesn't get the catches. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want someone to do what Jameis would do, is miss someone else that's open to throw to my favorite. Or there was a couple of times I'm like, okay, I'm watching him throw. I'm like, are you forcing it? But then I go to the play calling. This was my next pet peeve in this game. I just felt like play calling was not into, your teams and your team's advantage in this game. When we line up the way that we line up right now, our defense, our offense particularly doesn't look like this has an advantage against the Saints defense the way we lined up. We needed to spread them out, force them to cover, and let's let our receivers, our dynamic receivers that we do have, let them get open. And that's what we need to do as a Tampa Bay team that has Tom Brady, still arguably the GOAT from a quarterback perspective. And we have hands down 3 super solid receivers and a 4th option that can come in at any time at receiver. That's what we have to go to. Our advantage is having those 4 receivers and using them. And we didn't do it last night.
Nope, they didn't take advantage of it. Antonio Brown had no problem beating that man coverage as I predicted, but the game plan wasn't to go to him. And as Bruce Arians said, he didn't really expect Brown to play that much. He was forced to, given in situations. So I really don't know what the damn game plan was that game. And I told him if they're having issues, our receivers are having issues getting open in that press coverage, then run pick routes, do what everybody else does. It was just, I don't know what Byron left. Like, I think somebody.
Where did you see the adjustment? After the first half, I was still okay. And the reason I was okay is because I've watched this team all season. I've seen this team make halftime adjustments, defensively and offensively, and it gave me pause for reason to believe that, hey, we can make some kind of halftime adjustment. If there's anybody that can bring us back, we have the team, we have the tools to do it. But we came out just as sorry in the first half, in the second half as we were in the first. And at that, I was just like, okay, where is this team at? And even if we get there, then at that point, I'm like, listen, this game is a wrap. Let's get some live reps for someone else. Let's get live action against a top tier team for someone else. Because listen, we know right now where our depth is. We lost one person on the offensive line. If that was that catastrophic that we get roasted, take that 3 points off the board. Because I was just like, we must be getting the juju from Saintstown coming on us right now. Something's going on. I was like, and so I was waiting for the kid because I was like, please do not let him be jinxed as well. Because if we get the kicker jinxed, the rest of us, I was like, we're going to be gone. So when he made that kick, I was like, yes, it's not on him. So
you're right.
I was just very happy to see that. Once again, Tyler Johnson looked good in there. Brady will throw to him. I'm happy about that. But I think we have more of a reality check. Chris Collinsworth was talking last night about Brady's got 2 years or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's going to need a second year, because now we don't win the division. That was your easiest way in. We're not out the playoffs, Bucs fans. So, let's keep it. We're going to keep it. If you're a true Bucs fan, you've been here before, just like me. I'm going to ride with it all the way. I work for a company that's red and black. I'm gonna bleed this.
So you're good.
I'm happy.
You're going to work.
Yeah.
It's a bad day to go to work today after a beating like that in front of everyone in the world. That's the only part that sucks.
And you know what? Every Bucs fan I know is not a quiet Bucs fan, and they're not proud of it. I'm sure most of the Bucs fans in the comments are going to be the same thing. I know I am. And believe you me, everyone where I work at, I got a Saints fan, not a Saints fan. I got a Steelers fan that literally, most of the time I'm home, but I got a Steelers fan that he's like, hey, what happened to your Buccaneers?
I got to deal with Allison next, and she's already in the lobby laughing her ass.
Oh my God, I'm sure Allison is ready right now.
Well, she almost had a scare too, with them almost, giving up the backside to the greatness of Gilbert and the Dallas Cowboys. So, and almost losing your quarterback in the game, which was a scare. And that whole time when I saw Ben with his knee, I said, this is why y'all consistently don't invest in the backup quarterback. That's when this happens, you've got nothing behind him.
And listen, it would just be something just like that when you already have the record that you have, and it seems like nothing can stop you. But listen, I can't wait to hear what Allison has to say about the Steelers, because listen, before that touchdown, I was looking at that game and I was like, you guys are putting yourself in the position to get a trap game. And listen, we did the same thing. We were supposed to get the best shot of the Giants. I understand that. And this was basically a playoff game right now. We weren't ready. We have some more games to get ready, but right now we're not ready. And my son, he didn't watch the game because he gets kicked that time. So when he did come downstairs and he saw 31-0, he was like, they wasn't ready. And I was just like, yeah, man, we weren't ready right now. But you know what? I still have some confidence in the team. I think that I would have loved to see in this game, and I'm hoping that BA takes a little bit more of the reins, because I think that we really had 4 runs in that game. And I don't care what NFL game you're going to play. You watch Philip. Including the kneel down. I'm taking the kneel down out. Yeah. I'm taking that kneel down out. Look, 4 runs. That says more. You had Joe Hagan there. Okay, he's not the greatest pass rusher. Even Donovan Smith. I've seen Donovan Smith get mess up on run plays as well. But listen, this is the NFL. If you allow the defense to know that you're doing one thing, they're coming, and you can't. There's no disadvantage to them at that point. I've played on both sides of the ball. I understand it, and you put the offensive line in such a horrible situation. I mean, even if we were I think someone said it last night. You're down 14. You're down 14-0. Why are we not running the ball?
Nope, you went away from it so quickly. If one Donovan Smith holding penalty, that's when they went away from the run. That was when they quit.
We sold the whole farm. We sold the whole farm. We even sold the rooster on top. We sold everything. We just said, "Oh, we're just going to pass." And then, okay, I could get if they were passing, but we didn't go to let's go to a 5-out spread and let Brady just pick people apart. He's done that with untalented receivers in New England. We saw him do it, empty backfield and just picking people apart. He's done that in New England with considerably less talent. And you tell him to go deep. Listen, last night was a little bit of the Jameis effect, and I say that to this. You saw Brady holding the ball and like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Guess what? You start running deeper routes, and everything is a intermediate to long route. Guess what? He got to hold the ball a little bit longer, and you know that wasn't going to work with. We already have one handicap with Donovan Smith, but then I'm looking at Joe Haig over here. He wasn't doing no better, and they have zero continuity together. So you don't know if you heard what Aaron said. You don't know if you heard what Aaron said. He said he felt bad for those guys putting him in a compromising position. He said we didn't run the ball at all to that side. You knew I heard it. I'm on everything. I've watched everything.
He knew it. He's like, I put him in a compromising situation. They said they knew they had no run threat to that side. They just went all out pass rush over there.
Listen, and that's what. And you know what? Listen, the common fan may not see that or may not understand that, but I'm like, listen, if we're not running the ball, you're taking someone that's already not the best. You know they're not the best coming in. You know they're not the best coming in. Did you really just take that away from them? I just couldn't understand it. And once again, that goes back to coaching. So did the players do some things that put themselves in horrible situations? Certainly they did. But I would love to see. The part that I do like about the Steelers when Allison comes on, I'm sure she can hear this. She's sitting in the lobby. Is that the Steelers are the Steelers all the time. When they've been having that steel curtain defense, and when the years after they're trying to make that defense, they stay consistent to what they are. I want to be who we are. If we're going to be a hard-nosed defense and we're going to blitz, then we blitz. I don't want to hear about us not getting there. And guess what? I would have rather see was Clinton Bell up last night. I would have rather see him get JPP down. He's healthy. Chunk him down. You pulled him off the edge and had him rushing inside A gap anyway. He didn't get there, but you sent him. Right. I can't see you're trying to get pressure on Drew Brees, and this is who you're doing it in a passing situation with Ndamukong Suh, with Nacho, and with Golston. You're kidding me. That is and they're fine for basic defense. They're fine if we're in a 3-4 and it's a first down and anything may come. But when we're in a full passing situation, these are who you use. And then let's even take it back one more thing, and then I'm going to get off of here. We get Tyson Hill out there. You guys are not silly. We know he's Tim Tebow. He's a reincarnated Tim Tebow. That's what he is. So when I see him, I'm like, dude, that's run. They run this same formation at the high school. I'm looking at him like, this is run. He's going to run. Yep. He's a running back. And I'm like, now you got safeties coming down. Highlight moment. He just hurdled over, who was that? Whitehead?
Whitehead, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing going low on him? Blow him up.
I was like, dude, you got to come in sticking. You got to come in and stick. You got to lay wood right there, bro. We're getting beat. You're in the secondary. You have to come lay the wood. That's it. You don't care about the penalty or getting ejected at this point because this game is a wrap. You come in here for the badge, for the name on your back, and for the logo on the side of your helmet. That's what you're playing for at this point. The game is already over. But I'm gonna hop off and continue to watch you guys. Still a Bucks fan, and you know what? It's a Bucks life for me. You guys have a great day.
All right, Deshaun. Thank you. Sean, everybody. All right. I'll get to those comments after we get over here. I'm gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we'll get around the NFL with Miss Allison Koehler, and Gus, we got Rick Hughes down here. This ought to be a fun night. So I hope you guys brought your Red Bull, your coffee, whatever the hell you drinking, because I know Allison probably took a couple Tums, a couple of probably had you had to get a respirator for her and all types of stuff, because Lord knows you don't want to give up the rear end to the Dallas Cowboys with a 4th string, 5th string, 6th string quarterback, whatever you want to call him. It's pretty embarrassing. But let's get to the break, and we'll come back and we'll bring that on and bring on Rick Hughes live from the cheap seats as well. If I can find the commercial. There you go.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.
And we're back with the second half of the show. And you know what time that is? Around the NFL with none other than Allison Koehler from USA Today, Steelers Wire. And we also got Rick Hughes down in the lobby. We'll bring him on here in a second. Right up we get to Allison. How was your Sunday?
Like you mentioned before the break, definitely some Tums. I was like, I was ODing on Tums. And yeah, the operator, it's come out every Sunday and I haven't put it away. I take that back. I can't say it's come out every Sunday and I haven't put it away because then why would I have to take it out? I've just left it there, just next to my Go Steelers sign because, dude, it's I was on a Pittsburgh podcast. Actually, no, I take that back. I was on a Cowboys podcast last week and we were talking about Garrett Gilbert, and it was before they named him the starter. But I would just ooh, you know what I mean? Like, if it's Garrett Gilbert, this is going to be fun, you know? But I also did sort of call it as a trap game, like a week ago or whatever, before they even knew who they were playing, at quarterback. But I didn't really believe it, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, it could be, but, I don't see it happening. And even Cowboys fans were predicting a score similar to what last night's game was. 38-3. Dallas isn't even going to score a touchdown.
And yet they did.
And it just wasn't.
They should have scored a couple field goals they should have scored on those drives.
Yeah, well, I'll give it to Dallas. I was on Dem Boys podcast, and they were saying how Dallas's special teams is really something special, pun intended, and they are. I mean, they played really. The special team, the whole team played great, but special teams, you got to give it to them. They blocked 2 field goals. I mean, that wasn't, anything that kicker could have done there. I mean, obviously, but yeah, it's like, I just don't even know. I'm going on a Pittsburgh podcast tonight, and one of the speaking points is, how did Pittsburgh win that game? And I'm like, damn. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, I still don't. I mean, obviously you look at the officiating and really that's what it came down to. I mean, on both sides, there were a couple of holding penalties on Chase Claypool, one where he was going to be going into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yes, I remember that one.
Like three different, penalties there, but they chose to not call any. And that's fine. But it's like, Dallas intercepted a ball and that was, called back because of penalty. And it was one of those penalties where you're like, really, dude? Like, okay, but whatever. It is what it is. It's a win.
I wish Tampa Bay fans wish they could say the same. And speaking of that, I think Rick Hughes wants to jump in on this conversation as well. Rick Hughes, we're live from the cheap seats. What's going on?
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. It's just me and Allison here doing our Monday thing. Well, she's a little more happier than I am, but
just a little.
What you got for us, Rick?
What the heck was that? What was that game last night?
What game?
Literally the game plan was, let's take everything that we do really, really well, and let's not do any of it. They absolutely decided let's play an entirely different defense, and then when we play that entirely different defense, now you see everybody going, oh, well, this guy can't cover, that guy can't do this guy can't do that. Well, they haven't had to all year. This is not the game they've been playing all year. And then 3 points when you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette,
Antonio Brown,
Scotty Miller, and Antonio Brown. There's no freaking excuse. Nothing. None. To sit there and only have 4 runs, and then for Bruce Arians to say, well, we fell behind quickly. Well, how do you suppose that happened? Because you weren't running the freaking ball. When you only run the ball on second down, and that, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I believe every run was on second down.
And Ronald Jones was finding running lanes early in the game, except with the holding call, he was finding lanes, he was getting yards. I have no idea what Byron Leftwich was thinking.
Was he thinking? The entire thing, it was, and I didn't understand this in the Giants game. Where in the Giants game, all of a sudden, let's bring in an extra lineman, and let's make our main target for the night be Jaden Mickens. I just don't understand the thinking of this team. It's like they're so hell bent on doing the unexpected that at all costs they're going to try to do the unexpected. But for every once in a while, you got to understand, guys, there's a reason that's not expected, right? You don't want to be relying on Jaden Mickens. You don't want to be relying on some of these guys that you're relying on. What in the heck are they thinking? I don't get what in the heck the coaching is thinking. It's this belief that you see from some coaches. Gruden is a classic example of this, where he believes he's a genius. He's been told he's a genius for so long that he feels like he's going to outsmart everybody. And he does something that it's like, what the hell are you doing? Stop believing your own press. This is simple, man. You've got the horses. You have the ability to have an offense that's not going to score 3 freaking points the whole game. You have the ability to do these things. Well, no. Let's do none of that. None of it. Let's just. I mean, I'm so pissed at the coaching staff. I put 0% on the players. The players were handed. I'm having a hard time keeping my language clean.
You can use other words. Crap.
Right. Thank you. The players were handed a crap game plan and went out there and did what you could to execute crap. And then the result was crap.
What's crap? He said, no matter what's the old saying, Rick? You an old school guy. If you no matter how much you polish, wash, or clean a turd, it's still a what?
It's still a turd. Put even the greatness on a pig. What else was there? I mean, it's the same thing, man. That's just great. We've got Tom Brady. We can win no matter what freaking offense we run. No, man. That was I just don't get it.
Even Garrett Gilbert was able to put up 19 points on the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know why? They gave him a decent game plan. That's why.
Well, I also want to. Sorry,
It's okay.
I was drinking water. I was drinking water right at that moment, and you stopped. And
it's the game. The game is making you choke, and I understand. I did that myself.
No, look. The thing is this: they were. Like, if you look at the Steelers struggling against Gilbert, look, that's when you see the Buccaneers. You bring in a new quarterback that nobody knows what to expect or what the heck's about to happen. We've seen it happen against the Buccaneers. God knows how many times. You don't know really how to game plan for it. You don't know what's coming. You don't know what to expect. Blah, blah, blah. That's why they struggled at the beginning of the game. And as the game went along, they made the adjustments and they did what was necessary. For some reason, Bruce Arians just doesn't adjust in game. He just doesn't do it. Now, Byron Leftwich usually does. Last night, no, it's like, let's see what happens if we only rush 4. And okay, that's not working. Yeah, but let's see if we rush 4 again. Let's see what happens if we keep rushing 4. Well, listen, man, we're in the second half. It hasn't worked for the whole first half. Well, maybe it'll work in the second half. I mean, there's no adjusting, no anything. And it's frustrating to me because, I mean, you've already got a coach who has a problem with clock management and knowing when to throw a challenge flag and knowing, I mean, they're just general game management. Arians has a problem with that. No, I'm not. I'm sitting here ripping on Arians. They're 6-3. I'm happy about that. But I've got to tell you this. I don't think it's because of Arians. And I think it's because you've got this talent together. And holy crap, man. I mean, look what Raheem's doing with what they got in Atlanta. I mean,
Raheem wasn't a bad coach. Got a bad rap with an awful team and was still able to win 10 games.
He was a bad coach in the sense that he had great ideas, but he was too young and he was immature in the way that he handled the coaching.
I agree with that part.
And the team gave up on him. I mean, the team just completely 100% gave up on him, didn't have the respect for him that they needed to have. But listen, man, something has got to change with this coaching staff where they've got to get their head out. I mean, so deep up their own freaking backsides. I mean, I don't even know how you bend that far, man. It's just amazing to me that it's freaking possible to do to how do you F this up that bad? I mean, I'm serious. When you've got all of those offensive weapons and you can't complete a pass, I mean, you're struggling to complete a pass to any of them.
It was bad. It was struggling. You're right. I think, and struggling was an understatement. It was insurmountable. It was like trying to climb a mountain to get a 5-yard pass.
And it just got to the point where it was like, I mean, I get it. You don't have your normal offensive line. That makes sense. I understand. So why are you holding the ball for 5 freaking seconds? Okay. I mean, it makes no sense. If you know, okay, we've lost one of our key starters on the offensive line. What do? You give her the ball quicker, right? No, not this game plan. No, this one is hold it longer. Listen, I'm not an expert like you are, Blake. You are many times smarter than me when it comes to looking at a game and going, yeah, analyzing and picking apart and breaking it down. I'm not that guy. I can sit here though. I looked in advance and said, you want a good game plan? Here you go. Right when you come out of the gate, get Antonio Brown on a couple quick slants or something
Get it
really
going
quick,
early.
get him involved. Then you want to get Gronk a pass or two, maybe Scotty Miller. And then now the defense has to cover everybody, right? Now you've got the running backs should be able to go wild because you can't stack the box. Well, instead of doing it that way, what they did was just allow the exact opposite to happen. Just try to throw deep, just keep trying to throw deep, just keep trying to throw deep. And, you didn't have to worry about slants over the middle. You didn't have to do anything. Next thing you know, you're down by 21. Now you got to throw deep. And, I'm just pissed. I'm pissed.
Yeah, they gave you 38 reasons why to be upset, and the crazy part is I haven't seen anything or saw anything on social media from the players saying anything about this game either. I expected to see some of the leaders get on there and open up a little bit, somebody else besides Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is not the only one that has some blame in this game. The coaches as well, and some of the other players that didn't perform as well as they should have been.
Right, but when you ask Arians why only 4 runs in the entire game, he goes, well, once you're down by 21 points, it's kind of hard to run.
Yeah, okay.
How did you get down by 21 points? Seriously, do you think we're that stupid?
What'd you say, Allison?
Pittsburgh ran the ball like 11 times or something last night. But that's because they just weren't having success with it. I mean, they couldn't run on Dallas for whatever reason. I mean, I know it's partially James Conner's kind of mediocre. We're really beginning to see that. And part of it's because, the offensive line is all jacked up. I mean, they have injuries out the rear, but obviously you can't, that can't be an excuse because for a few weeks after Devin Bush was out, they still had, they found ways, to.
But Allison, think about this. You're talking about they only ran like 11 times. Do you realize while you're saying that's not much, that's almost 3 times what the Buccaneers ran.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Like when I read that, I saw that they only ran the ball 4 times. I was like,
right. If you tripled
it was a record last night, and
it was a record.
And I was like, oh, the record. Like, how do they rush for that many yards and then only get 3 points? And then I click on the link, and I'm like, it was the record for the least amount of times run. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how is that even? Wow.
Right. I mean, how do you, when you look at it, you go, wow, if you triple your number of rushing attempts, you're still low. That's not good.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm so pissed. I better get off here before I say something stupid.
You're going to break all 10 commandments, Rick.
Yes.
Tell everybody where they can find your show and what times, Rick.
Tomorrow night, I will be doing What's Cooking from the South at, I believe it's 9:00.
And Rick is live in Charlotte. Rick, let me see if I can get you some tickets out there because I grew up in North Carolina. So let me see.
I cannot go to the game.
You suck.
Yeah, I know I do. I do. Believe me, you think you're upset about it. I'd much rather be going to the game.
All right, Rick. Appreciate you jumping on, brother.
You got it, man. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good.
Tune into my show tomorrow night. You really want to hear me cut loose.
Oh, no, Rick, please.
Have a good one.
All right. Rick Hughes live from the cheap seats. As always.
Now, what's he in Charlotte for?
He lives there. He lives there now.
Oh, okay.
He used to live in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
And then he took a new job and moved to Charlotte. I guess I told him I grew up in North Carolina, so a lot of people I know live in Charlotte. So
right. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm sure you told me that you grew up there, but I didn't remember. So that's kind of cool. What part of North Carolina?
Fayetteville, right out near Fort Bragg Army Base, Pope Air Force Base out that area. Right. But yeah, I've been out to Charlotte a few times out there. I didn't grow up in Charlotte. We played a couple games there. Lost lost a high school championship to Chris Leak and Florida Gators quarterback, and the high school championships, things like that. So I've been out there.
Yeah. Rock and roll, dude. Yeah. So yesterday sucked for both of us, but it's so weird. Like, I know it's weird. The Steelers are 8-0, and I'm complaining about them, but it's like, you're as they say, you're the most critical of the ones you love, and the Steelers are very near and dear to my heart. And I'm just being realistic. I mean, come on, they can't play. Okay, so if the Steelers play like they did yesterday, they're going nowhere in the playoffs. If they play like they did against Tennessee and Baltimore, you know what I mean? Like, then it's maybe a different ballgame. But it's like Dallas is not a good team, and Tennessee and Baltimore are. So, and again, the Steelers just have this history of playing down, to inferior opponents. And we see it all the time, every year. I can't even remember the last time they didn't do that. But still, it's like, you can't play down to them so much that you almost lose the game.
They should have lost that. I really thought they were going to
lost.
I really thought they were going to give up the buns to them. Seriously, I
turned off the game. And I was like, that's not a win. That's like the refs handed them a present. You know what I mean? Like, essentially, that's what happened. And obviously, Minka made a great play at the end of the game. Because that could have been a touchdown. Like, totally been a touchdown.
What shocks me about these numbers is Gilbert. I mean, we covered him with the Apollo, so we knew all about Gilbert and the ability. He made fun watching AAF football at that league at that time. But he went for 21 for 38. I was surprised. I was like, as I'm watching this game, I'm like, how are the Steelers struggling with this? Because let me tell y'all something. I said, when you walk on a team like that, it's not you automatically know all the plays, you know all the verb. It don't work like that. It's not bad. I said, you get handed, like when Rick talks about play sheets and game plans. I said, Coach would hand you your play sheets. It was on paper at that time. These guys got tablets, so I would get a pamphlet, and I was the captain, and I had to know everybody else's assignment. So mine was a little bit thicker than everybody else's. So you had to look at all the assignments and all this stuff like that in this game plan and all that. And the same goes in the offense. Is like, you can only run so many plays for a guy that just got on that team. I said that it's only got to be about 15 to 20 plays at the max. If people don't remember what I'm talking about, you can look at when Josh Freeman was released from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and he played, I believe it was a Monday night game or a Sunday night game when he was with the Minnesota Vikings, and they made several comments about that because he had the nice copy of the play sheet, and it was so small because you cannot call that many plays for a guy that just got there. And for me to see 38 of passing attempts, and he had success, 243, a touchdown and an interception. And the interception was only because he got creamed from the backside on a guy on a blitz play. But otherwise than that, he played a pretty flawless game.
Yeah. I think the Steelers defense just overcomplicated things. And, and Dallas played like they had nothing to lose because they don't have anything.
There's no expectations.
Yeah, so that was their Super Bowl, or Dallas, for Dallas. And it's like, even though they lost, I mean, they should have won that game. I turned off that game and I was like, woo, I need a shower. Like, I feel dirty.
Dirty, right?
It's like, I want to be like, oh, no, it's never happened before in the the history of the franchise. And it's like you want to embrace it, but it's like, what I mean?
It's almost a loss. This don't even feel like it.
It's not cool. It's not cool at all, and we have Cincinnati, this week, who, despite being 2-5, they're playing well. Joe Burrow's got like 1,000 trillion passing yards. I mean, their offensive line is horrible. He's gotten sacked, I think, like 30 times already this season. It might be more. Yeah. So they're, but it's a divisional game. And as we talked about before, divisional games, standings, you just throw them out the window at that point because it could literally go either way.
Correct. Especially divisions. You never know what's going on in those games.
Yeah. And it's that North, man, like Tomlin said, it's hot in the AFC North kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, it's hot because it's like, that's why it's so critical that the Steelers continue to win games, because they got the Browns and the Ravens just nipping at their heels. And if they falter and Baltimore and or Cleveland doesn't,
We're gonna be right on them.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I see what you mean about the whole James Conner. It was a pretty mediocre night. It was about 9 carries for 22 attempts. That ain't gonna get you done. Averaging 2.4 yards a carry. That's pretty bad there. Pretty much Big Ben had to pretty much carry the team from what I'm looking like here on a bad leg.
Right, exactly. Dude, he was 4 for 4. He got like his kneecap or whatever. I don't know knee parts, but it looked like it went in some other different direction.
Yeah, and then I think he got hit up top. It was like a double hit.
It was like a boom, boom, like a pinball machine. You know what I mean? And yeah, for him to go 4 for 4 after that, and then the crazy part was that he went in early thinking that it was over, and then Minka Fitzpatrick.
Mason Rudolph had to come in. Yep.
Mason Rudolph's in there, and I'm like, oh, jeez, you know what I mean? Like, here we go. And I was thinking to myself for that split second, for that short time that he was in there, I was like, okay, Mason,
don't throw a pick.
This is your opportunity to show that you can replace Ben for a little while, even just be show us that you can, and I mean, he didn't like.
No, he went down and got a field goal.
Yeah, they did.
They went down before the half and got a field goal. They got the Dallas to punt. They got the ball back, I think, with a little time, under a minute. And he went down and got a field goal. I think as soon as Ben went down, there was two things that happened. Ben went down, and I saw him hobbling. I said, oh, this ain't good. I said, because Ben's game is predicated on moving around a little bit there in the pocket. I said, but and I was like, me and Allison talk about this all the time. I said, you guys refuse to invest in a replacement in case this happens. And as Deshaun said, this is the time it would happen to the Steelers. When you're 7-0, then you're going to lose your damn quarterback. And they said, this reminds me of the Raiders near the end of the season when they were on the hot. If you remember that season where everybody picked them to win the Super Bowl that year, and Carr went down with that knee injury and out for the year, and he was forced to go with the backup. It reminded me of that year. Right. But I also said on that same drive where Ben came back in with the knee, I said, how the hell are you not blitzing Ben with an effed up knee?
Right.
Said, there's no way his ass is going to sit back there. I'm hitting him every time. I'm hitting him. They said he can't move. I said he was limping like a wounded deer. He reminded me of Byron Leftwich at Marshall, where they had to carry him down the field to throw the pass. But hey, good for the Steelers, bad for Dallas on taking advantage of opportunities when they arise. But
and that's, man, there's still 7 seasons. I mean, we won't know until tomorrow if there's really anything wrong with Ben's knee. He said after the game he's fine. You know what I mean? Like, not that he'd be like, oh, I've jacked it up, I'm out, sorry, peace. You know what I mean? But
there's no option. He got to play if he can play.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There's no option. Yeah, I mean, he's played with cracked ribs. He tore ligaments in his shoulder, and he's playing. Broken noses, broken. I mean, he's broken everything and played. So I'm not really surprised at how that went, and I won't be surprised if he's got some knee sprain and he just plays. But it's like there's still 7 games left in the regular season, and the Steelers, they're playing right now like they need a bye, like they need a rest, and they're not getting one unless they're the number 1 seed. And monkey forbid if they extend the season and then there's no buys in the playoffs, then they're royally screwed. You know what I mean? So it's just like they need some kind of something, because, like I said, they're just playing like they're tired, like they're fatigued.
It's tough. You're the top dog. Everybody's chasing you, so you can't take no break. There's what they say, no days off.
Right.
Days off, and he said, "This is AFC North kitchen is cooking. It's kitchen, and it's hot up there. You got them guys. You got the Browns up and coming, and then get Chubb back. He just got activated. He's back now. You still got the Ravens, and they're still having their issues. Lamar Jackson still having issues throwing the ball. When
the Steelers beat the Browns, they were Chubbless. You know what I mean? They just had to deal with Kareem Hunt, and that was enough. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Now you get them both.
So it's I just don't even know. But they're 8-0. Woohoo!
That's better than 7-0, 8-0.
Right? Yeah.
Alice, I know you got to get out of here. So if you want to plug
Mhm.
yourself in, let everybody know where they can always find your work. And if you got any live, look at you, any live shows you're coming on, you're Miss Popular now. You're on more times than I am now.
Yeah, man. I'm going on some show. Nobody's gonna listen unless they're Steelers fans, but there's a podcast called The Donut Bag.
Really?
It's at The Donut Bag on Twitter. Joey Bag of Donuts is the host, and he's having.
My God.
We talk Steelers, which is cool because I love coming on your show and I love talking around the NFL and about the Steelers. But
what's funny is that you've been on here, and everybody's like getting to know you now on here, and they're like, "Hey, this girl can actually talk football."
I can, but like Rick, I'm like, if you ask me to talk about coverages and packages and all that, like I'll just be like,
He said, "I'll leave it to Blake."
Right? Yes, my Blake.
Well, it's all right. You're going to be my next protege, though. You're going to be learning all.
Yeah, dude. I want to be. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Like since I saw you a week ago, have I done anything? Have I watched anything?
It's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's not just one thing and go, oh yeah, I got it, and it's impossible to do that.
Exactly. But if you want to find my work, you can go to SteelersWire.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter at SteelersWire8K and on Facebook at writer Allison Koehler.
And there you have it. And she's always this is your spot. You get your own intro around the NFL.
Yeah. So exciting. Yeah, I don't get that on Pittsburgh shows. So
see if everybody keeps inviting you, they got to get you your own intro, get you your own Allison Bucks, and then definitely got to get one of your favorite. They got to get you your every girl loves it. All right, Allison, as always.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Stay in touch.
Yep.
There she is. Miss Allison. Every Monday and Friday here on Bucks Report, guys. This is Blake Anthony. It's the Sports Top 49. If you're just tuning in, I had a great show. Couldn't bash the Bucks all day today. That's why I got to mix it up. I bring in Allison in and talk Steelers. And, if they lose, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about stuff in the league and stuff like that because it gets depressing to talk about stuff like that, or talking about the win, same thing about the wins, or same thing about loss. Because at the end of the day, you're repeating the same stuff over and over. So you try to mix it in. Let me try to get to these comments that I missed. Johnny Dean, what's going on, brother? You out there? You're always welcome to jump in if you want. Let me see. I think we're talking about Peter. It was fun going to work today. The boys let me have it. Thank you, Bucks. Antonio, great break. That's how you break down. Great breakdown. I got you. Good work, Blake. Yeah, I mean that's what I do. I look at it and I try to dissect what I know and what's going on in the tendencies, and that's what I try to do. Antonio, appreciate it. Yep. They said after 21-0, they were like, "Oh Lord." That's pretty much what they did. I agree. Brady couldn't run a 3-step drop last night. Nope. I said it wasn't fun going to work. Yeah, we talked about that. I think I saw D. Smith move yesterday before the defender blew past him. I think it was a run play, and the guy got inside. I think it was Gronk was supposed to block down, and the defender beat him inside. It was a goal line play, which nobody talked about that either. Why you run 3 pass plays on the 1-yard line? That's pretty stupid, wasn't it? Mike Cooper and Mike it showed the start of the game. They looked down a little depressed. They're upset with AB signing at the point. How to get tossed in a meaningful game. Somewhat was a miss with the whole teams for sure. I mean, these guys have shown the other guys, Scotty Miller and company, showing that they can't deliver when the time is time to deliver. It's great they have those splash plays in games where you're got the game pretty much in check, but when it comes down to making great catches and clutch catches, they don't do it. It's the same thing like I said with Ndamukong Suh. I know Peter and the guys love him. He shows up great when things are going good, but when you need him in a game like that, when you don't have Vita Vea and you don't have, you just did, the only person missing was Vita Vea, you disappear. You're nowhere to be found. You checked out. You're supposed to be one of the veterans on this team. You don't check out. The only person I see pissed off is Jason Pierre-Paul punching the ground. He was upset as these guys are talking trash and you just doing nothing about it. Mike Evans was open multiple times. Arians admitted it. He wasn't targeted. So next question is simply, does Brady have a beef with him? I'm not even going to get into that one, Johnny. Let's hear what Bruce Arians had to say on Mike Evans, shall we?
With Devin White or some of the blitzes up the middle.
We did it about 4 or 5 times. He just didn't get home.
Okay, thank you. And Mike Evans had just 17 targets combined in the last 4 games. He had 31 targets in the previous 4, 2 of which he topped 100 yards. I know you don't want to force the ball to Mike. That got Jameis into trouble last year at some. But with him being the best receiver on this team, why isn't Byron making a more concerted effort of getting Mike involved in the passing game earlier?
Mike was open a bunch in that ball game. He just didn't get targeted. That's all. He was open. Mike was open.
Okay.
There you have it. Mike was open. And as I promised, I saw Misador said, did I look at it? All 22 is not out yet, so I will. And I will have all of Mike Evans, at least eligible pass plays. And we'll talk about them. I ain't going to talk about all of them. I'll show them, and I'll put some audio on some of it. But it's going to be – I'm not sure how many plays they ran on offense. It couldn't have been too much, but we'll take a look at it and see if he actually won the matchups and things like that. I see somebody already posting one up on Twitter, and we were talking about in our off-air group. You know, Philip Swagler was there. That play it's a design quick out. It was a design play to go there, and everybody's like, "Oh, Mike Evans was open." He's already committed to the pass. The pass is already he's already in the process of throwing. When Mike Evans is not in the clear yet, you can't pull back the throw and then throw over there, because at that point when it's thrown, you can't even see that Mike Evans is open, and then from the snap, he's already going in that direction. So the play was already designed to go to the guy that Rob Gronkowski, I believe it was going to, but we'll find the rest of them though. It's not saying there ain't none there, but on that particular one, that's not a good example. I'm not even going to entertain that one, because you can say coulda, shoulda, woulda. He committed to that throw, and that's where he was throwing that ball on that play. So let's see. I don't think Vea would have made a difference. You're probably right, Mike. Mike Morris, the Bucs got to run the ball too predictable, and he picked off 3 times. The one tip, that's whatever. That's a freak on the screen pass. That never happened like that. Tip 2 times, and then the third defensive lineman catches it. Like, come on. Who's the best football player? Of course, man. Neymar. That's my guy right there. Noel, I believe early on they focused on Alpha Kamara, and their game plan was going to take out one player. That team, you just got to play sound defense. Be happy what you plan on being happy to give them, and then take away everything else. Johnny Dean, he probably should have. They would have more continuity with Jensen and Donovan Smith, and Arians did say that he would do that, Johnny, but it didn't happen. They didn't make any adjustments. But that's all I got for you guys on Monday. Look forward to seeing a couple of my perspectives and stuff. Don't be shy to hit me up on social media, add me on your Twitter and stuff like that. And if there is stuff that you want me to look more into, because I'm always, if I got the time, I'll do it. And I'll look down and I'll break down stuff and look at some other things and some other games like that and stuff like that. Misador talked about dime coverage and stuff like that, and I looked at it and things like that. But just add me there, man. If there's some stuff you want me to look at and break down, I'll give you if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, and I won't be able to figure it out. I have no shame of telling you something. I know a lot of people like to think they know everything, and I'm not that guy. I will tell you, I'll be like, yeah, I don't know about this one. I'll be like, you might want to go to the pros, the considered pros on this. But a lot of it, I'll be sure to look at it and take a look at some stuff, because there's a lot of questions and stuff that goes on. If they play against the KC, we'll roll 50 burger. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And they're going to have to take some tips from some other teams that have had success on them, like the Panthers and the Raiders and some other teams that have played well against them. But I'll end this out as I always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Bucs 6-3. Get to play the Panthers to right the ship after a dismantling of the ship. So look forward and stay positive out there, and you guys, and look for my perspectives on the social media, Twitter normally, and look for me on Friday with the winning angle. Thank you guys. God bless. And as always, fire those cannons.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.